We're Out of Here, Part 1 is the 25th episode of the 4th season of The Golden Girls. This is directed by Terry Hughes, and as always there will be spoilers from now as I go through the episode and share some thoughts. I don't have that many thoughts, to be honest, because it's another compilation episode where we have pretty much the bulk of it made up of clips from previous Golden Girls episodes. And of course, I always have to remind myself that when this aired, 1989, online streaming, instant access, it wasn't a thing. So obviously, the clips in this are from previous seasons, I think entirely from previous seasons. So chances are people watching this on broadcast wouldn't have seen the other clips for quite some time. But obviously, in an age of online streaming, when we get everything when we want it, these clips are ones that, if you're binge watching the show, you've probably seen quite recently. So, on the one hand, it's not as bad as it is now. But at the same time, I still just think using clips from previous episodes to bulk out episodes to make it a two-parter is just, I hate it. I always hate it. Pretty much always hate it. And I didn't care for this episode. It starts off with a bit of a mystery. Sophia is showing somebody around the house, selling it, and we find out why she's doing this quite quickly. Somebody had moved a for sale sign to the yard, so Sophia took up the opportunity, and she is given the offer straight away, which she of course gives to Blanche. And Blanche realises that while she had no intention of selling the house, this is a lot of money. And suddenly she starts to wonder if she should or if she could. And the other girls are supporting her. They're saying we can all find somewhere where we can live together, somewhere that might be just as nice as this. And then the rest of the episode is basically reflecting. They reflect on when they first met and how they came to live there. And I have to say, I do like that clip. I know it's not been that long since I last saw it, but I don't mind that clip because I think finding out the origins is always just quite nice, and it's nice to have that reminder. But the rest of the clips I thought were just, because obviously, again, I've seen them relatively recently, not that interesting. We then look at the dance marathon, because Rose said that she can do some things better than the others, which is fair enough. It's nice for Rose to stand up for herself once. And then they have flashbacks of clips from when family members visited. We have Uncle Angelo, Blanche's daughter, Angela. Stan turns up in real time to borrow a car. And then we have some flashbacks with Stan, which I really don't care for. And the episode ends, and this is literally it. We're nearly at the end. There is very little new material in this. The majority of it, I didn't time it, but I'd say a good 80% is taken up by the flashbacks. And at the end, Blanche gets a call offering her more money, and it seems like she's going to take it. And I haven't looked ahead, but I'm going to play a safe bet that she isn't going to sell the house. I could be wrong. Maybe she sells the house and the next season is all about them getting a new place. It could be interesting. It could certainly be an interesting way to take it. But I think it would also be a big risk because a lot of the success of sitcoms is in the setting. And if they don't get the setting right, it could really fall apart. Whereas I think the house is a nice shape. It's a nice space to play with. I like the layout of the kitchen. That works really well, especially since we spend a lot of time there eating cheesecake. So it could be a risk. I'm not saying the show would completely fall apart if they move house and the set's not as good, but it can make a big difference because you're setting up the entire atmosphere and the location does play a big role. And I'm trying to think if there's any other sitcom that I've seen, of course, where they suddenly change location, where the characters maybe move house, or I mean even something like Full House with Fuller House, not to spoil it too much, but when they had Fuller House, it's still set in the original house because they know how much value there is in the comfort and familiarity of that home, and that the house itself has a really great layout, really great space to play with there. So the point there is that if they do move house, it could be interesting. It could give us a new location, new opportunities for storylines and neighbours, but I don't think it would be the right decision. And I doubt it's going to happen. I really don't think it's going to happen, but I guess time will tell. So I'm not necessarily looking forward to the next episode because I'm assuming it's going to be another compilation. We're going to have a whole bunch of clips again. Maybe not. It might not be. But I am slightly curious to find out how this will resolve itself. So we'll see. I'm curious, if not, I'm not necessarily excited, but I'm curious. We're Out of Here, Part 1 is not necessarily a good episode of The Golden Girls, but it's fine. I guess I don't mind it.